Hey everyone, Ron here with Innovative Digital Group. So in today's video, continuation off to our FAQ. This next question is, what is the first step that you should perform when performing a wireless site survey? So what is the first step that you should perform when performing a wireless site survey? So here's a blanket site survey. Let me just go into here. All right, so I guess it's not a tricky question, but the way I look at it is you should be prepared prior to even going on site. So the day before, even the week before, I like to have a call with the customer and have them send me a diagram. So that's the first step. Get a diagram. Once you get the diagram, you have a list of questions that the customer should fill out. You should have a form that says the primary use, secondary use, is there IT managers, who's managing the backbone, what is the upload speed, what is the download speed. You want to know all those details, right, prior to going on site. So when you do, even before you go on site, you have to have that call with the IT manager or the person in charge or whoever is hiring you. Have a call with them. And if you can't get the right person on the phone, which should be the IT manager or an IT person, you should be at least speaking with them, because then at least you know the pain points, because majority of the people are calling you for pain points because we have problems, or maybe they just need a blanket site survey. The last site survey that I did was for a wireless office. The reason why they requested is because they're having issues, so they needed to do a site survey and just make sure that APs are in the right place. So it was more of a passive site survey to that AP, to those APs that were roaming around, and we took measurements, did a spectrum analysis, and just made sure everything was fine. So the main thing is get on the phone with them, and the first step is to get the schematic, and then get the pain points, and then get what the primary uses are. So that's the first step. Let's say if you're talking about the first step to performing a wireless site survey physically is, I like to go in, okay, if it's a big job, I like to go in before. I like to go in 2 weeks before in case I have questions. Meaning, if this is a 300,000 square foot warehouse, I want to go in and I want to look at the facility. I want to look at the problematic points. I want to look to see every aisle and every area that they need coverage. I want to see the distance from the main switch, from the DMARC to the future, etc. Do they have cabling? Do they have ports there? Do they have available ports? What technology are they using? Because a lot of questions are going to come at you. If it's just an office, I just like to see a diagram, okay? But the first thing to do is, when you're on site, just do a visual walkthrough, because you've seen it on a schematic. So now you just want to do your visual walkthrough and look at the height of the cubicles, the ceiling too, because even the height of the ceiling, you should know this information prior. Let's say it's 10-foot ceiling, great. The higher the better for offices, because the users are all on the floor. So you know that one AP could probably cover a great amount of area. Warehouses is a little difficult, but offices are difficult because you have neighboring APs. That's the difference. So the second thing, you do your walkthrough. That's the first thing. Then you draw on your paper. What I like to do is, I'm going to guesstimate, make an estimate that I'm going to need one AP here, one AP here. So what I do is I'll actually draw an AP here and an AP here, draw a little circle as if I'm covering with an omnidirectional antenna, because 90% of the time you're going to be running with an omnidirectional type of pattern antenna. You want to load that antenna into your floor plan, so you're transmitting at those rates. Okay, so I'm going to draw an AP here, draw a little circle that I'm overlapping. So I'm just estimating, okay, because you're not running full power on your AP, you're running maybe a 50%. So you've got 50% power you're running here. Great, perfect. Okay, so then you go to the next spot and you make sure that, okay, this is the threshold where I reach down to 21 SNR. So you should have an AP here that also runs 21. So when the user walks in this area, it's going to roam over. Seamless roam. Okay, and then, so you position your first AP, so you have that overlap here. So you draw, now after, so you haven't drawn anything here. So you're going to take that AP, perfect, that's the next one. Then you're going to find out on your second part here, how far do I get? Okay, if I'm getting over here, 21 at 50% power throughput, then I could probably put my AP here and act as a backup. And then if I fine tune the power maybe to 20%, Well, you're running at 50%, okay, on your AP. You're not going to change that. 50%? So at least you get an overlap. Maybe you have too much overlap. So that's fine because you're running at 50%. So you know that when you implement this, you could go down to 20 or 25%, and then you'll get your seamless roam if a user goes from here to here. Okay, but you want to make sure that if you're roaming seamless roam at 20, 25, what is the client user going to experience down here? You want to make sure that maybe that AP covers here, or at least this AP, when it does that roam, or before, like, will it have enough coverage from this neighboring AP? So the way I look at like having this here, you have line of sight. Okay, if someone goes into this area and for some reason needs access here, it's line of sight. But the other question is, these offices and these rooms, can you stick another one here? Will it go through glass? Is this glass? Is this drywall? What's the density of this wall, etc.? So you put a density factor in if you're doing planner. If you're doing live, you're just testing it through real-time levels of signal, noise, and SNRs. So you put your AP on a stick here, you walk here, because if you're not getting coverage from this access point into here, and you're kind of hit or miss, don't risk it, because this is probably an exec office. The exec is going to say, this is garbage. It's wireless site survey, etc. So you're probably safe just to put one in this area, make sure that you get great coverage here, here, and here. This might be hallway, who knows what this is. But let's say this is an accessible area. You probably want to put one here, and that'll act as a failover for this AP. So one single AP here, hopefully it covers here, here, and here. If not, move it up a little, move your AP on a stick, put it here. Take a snapshot picture of where the location is, right on text. Base, let's say this is base 4, AP4. AP4 located in this area, take a picture, facing this way, so at least they see that, oh, okay, the installer, the cabling installer, will see where it is. So those are your first steps. Visual walkthrough, estimate on a piece of paper, write it down. And you might have to go through 3 or 4 sheets depending on how it all plays out. So those are your first steps when performing a wireless site survey.